Okay, good evening, guys. Can you please confirm, am I audible to you? Okay, perfect. So, guys, I would suggest you to be on mute, please, unless you have any question and we are asking you to unmute, then you can unmute, but please be on mute for the starters, okay? So, welcome, guys, to today's session, right? As you must have gone through the banner as well. The topic for today's discussion for the code talk is going to be fintech to DeFi tech, right? The AI revolution transforming finance, right? Now, you must have heard about fintech quite a lot, right? You might be hearing the term DeFi tech for the first time. So, we are going to basically take you through the entire thing. What exactly is fintech? What is DeFi tech? And how AI is basically playing a greater role in this part, right? So, for that, basically, I'm not going to be the only person who's going to discussing about that, right? We have Jayesh with us. So I would like Jayesh to basically turn up the camera as well. Jayesh, are you with us?
Hey, hi, Pulkit.
Yeah. Hi. Hi, Jayesh. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, good evening, guys. How are you?
Okay. Perfect. So, guys, first of all, I'm just going to introduce a bit about me, right? And then we will go to Jayesh, right? My name is Pulkit Tyagi. I'm a curriculum engineer over here, right? And basically, I take care of the backend side of the things. I take care of the node batches and everything, right? I used to be a mechanical engineer, and then I transformed my career into tech, right? And that is how I came to know Jayesh as well. So I know Jayesh from past 5-10 years. So I thought that if Jayesh is into the industry, why not we call Jayesh and basically have a chat into this particular topic, right? So Jayesh, over to you now.
Yeah. So, hi, guys. So my name is Jayesh, and I'm just like all of you. So I have done my undergraduate in BTech, Electronics and Communication. Post that, I joined Amazon as an associate, and I had a 6.5 years of journey in Amazon where I've worked in tech and operations. uh, as within like vision technology industry and payment industries. So having knowledge around machine learning and financial services both. Post that, I mean, in the meantime, I mean, I've gone through a lot on the learning side. I learned about. I've done a postgraduate diploma in machine learning, data science as well, and then I took a break, and then now I'm working full time on my own project called Folio X, which is a decentralized finance product. So yeah, that's about me.
Okay, perfect. So Jayesh, before starting with the topic and everything, I would just like to understand for myself as well and for the other people as well who are listening to us. You were working with Amazon, right?
Mhm.
What is that point when you decided to quit Amazon and start something of your own? And why did you do that?
So I mean, see, I mean, I get onto a position where I think most of us would not even think of moving out. I mean, I was a senior manager over there, getting a good salary. I have approximately 150 people reporting to me. But see, the major part comes in that when you get into a monotonous role where you think that, yeah, see, I'm not getting the right amount of hands-on from the role that I'm in. And I think that was one of the major aspect where I thought that, I mean, it's time that I move ahead and then explore around, see that what can be done, what can I solve. I mean, where can I actually solve a problem for the people. I mean,
Mm.
that's what that was one of the point for me to take an exit from Amazon, because I mean, within Amazon we are solving a lot of things, but what's my part into it? And that what motivated me that, yeah, let's move over and then let's start solving something for the actual users and consumers.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So I hope most of the people over here might get inspired from you and they can basically start their journey as well. That's perfect. Jayesh, since today's topic is around fintech and DeFi tech, right? And basically how AI is basically revolutionizing these two aspects. Before going over there, I just wanted to understand for me, right? I'm a techie, and most of the people who have joined over here, they're also tech graduates only. So, what exactly is finance, right? And how exactly tech plays a role into the finance sector? Can you please throw some light over there?
Yeah. So I think this is one of the thing that we wanted to understand before we get into tech is like that, and I think it's a basic aspect for everyone who get into a job or get into a role where they have to work on something. So like see, finance is like majorly a study around what are currencies, money, and assets, right? And when we talk about money, I think people understand money as like 100 rupees or 500 rupee note that we are using. So, but no, money is like anything which you can trade within the market. Like, I mean, if you go back to the history, like users don't have money, right? People don't have money, so people used to trade crops, cattle, and
Hmm.
then gold or silver, whatever that was available over there. So like that is the money that whichever is there for a trade aspect, that is called as money. Then if you talk about currency, currency is like a nation specific thing, that what bank notes or what coins are being accepted within the nation, so that is called as currency. And if you go over to the decentralized aspect, like Bitcoin is one of the currency that we talk. And similarly, if I call as assets, I think assets is any property or physical thing that you hold within yourself, which could also be a land, a piece of land, a piece of gold, or I mean, even if my phone, I mean, it's a asset that I have, right? So everything is an asset. uh, there is a subjective thing around there also, that if its value diminishes within time, then obviously these are leverage making asset. But if its value increases within time, it's a growing asset for you. So that is all about finance, and how finance revolves around the industry is also called as economics. So I think that is one thing that everyone needs to understand, and that's a basic term for you. I think when we talk about being financial sound, that is a very much bigger term that everyone talks about. So
Correct.
it's about that. I mean, I think anyone in this group, if he knows that what taxation slab they are in and what is their taxation, how much they have to pay up to the government, I think they are approximately 60-70% financial sound.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's about finance. Now, if we move over to fintech and DeFi tech, so when we talk about fintech, I think one of the biggest thing that India has done on the fintech aspect is that if we talk at a global level, India is one of the leading fintech adopters. We have approximately 87-89% of people who are actually fintech adopted, and it's the major role that is played over here is how government and some of the bigger fintech companies has like provided the UPI and RuPay acceptance to the market. I mean,
Hmm.
that is one of the things that is also being accepted on a global level also. I think Europe is now accepting RuPay cards, and UPI is also one of the things that is being accepted all over worldwide.
Hmm.
So that's what fintech is about. Like fintech includes each and everything when we talk about banking and mobile sector, when we talk about lending platforms, when you talk about like UPI, all of these things comes into fintech. How these are big, and like coming back to like decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is more about like financial system within the decentralized ecosystem, like within blockchain, how finance can be done. So there also there is a overall banking system that is being there, We have lending and borrowing aspects over there. We have yield making aspects, just like similar to what is available on the Web2 industry called as mutual funds or
Hmm.
ETFs. So all that comes into the fintech and DeFi tech industry.
Okay, got it. So, if I have to summarize this thing, right, for everyone, so I can say that fintech is basically the combination of finance and technology, right? So, in earlier days, like we used to go out, buy some stuff, we used to hand over the what you can say, 50 rupee or 100 rupee bill, right, or coins or something like that. Instead of that, now we are transformed into some digital payment methods like UPI and everything, right? So that is all around fintech where I have combined the technology with the current
Mhm.
financial system, right? And when I
Exactly.
talk about DeFi tech is basically instead of having everything centralized, I am having all of this, what you can say, technology plus finance in a decentralized fashion, right? Uh, any one authority is not basically holding everything. That is the basic idea
That is
around
the
fintech
basic
and
idea.
DeFi tech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if I ask about this thing to our listeners as well, so people, did you understand what exactly is fintech and what exactly is DeFi tech? I hope you understood that at least 20 to 30%, right? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Great. So since technology is involved over here, Jayesh, right? Technology is involved in DeFi tech as well and in fintech as well. And we know that AI is basically taking over everything. The things that we used to see in movies like Terminator and everything, that thing is happening now in real life, right? So how exactly AI is going to transform these fintech and DeFi tech sectors, according to you?
So, yeah, before moving over to AI, I would say, see, why AI is actually introduced in the fintech industry. So, see, fintech industry is lot dependent on data heavy work. So there is a lot of data that is being required within the fintech industry. Like, if I wanted to assess a risk for a particular consumer, I have to go through a lot of data and understand that how this user is basically spending or utilizing the money that is there within their bank accounts, right? So and similar to that, there is a term called credit score. So that credit score is being start generating when you actually start spending some of the amounts, and when you have a like a credit card or something, and then you revolves that credit card or utilize that credit card within the industry. Okay, so that is and these scores are being generated all basis on how much spending you are actually doing. So every transaction and all those stuff, they are very data heavy. And I mean, how this is being done till before AI comes into picture is like people actually have all the data within the DB system. They create tables over there. Then data is being exported from those tables. Somebody is actually putting their effort in getting all that data within an Excel sheet or probably a big data system, and then these people look into that data, create their strategies, then understand that whether a specific user or a specific set of users are actually defaulting within the system, and
Hmm.
then loans are being processed to a user, or any like credit card or debit cards or bank accounts are being processed for a particular user.
Right.
So, and because there is a lot of effort being utilized over there, and to reduce that overall effort that is being utilized, AI is being introduced within the industry. That's where the overall system comes into picture. So now what AI does is like we have lot of ML models and which are being created at the backside, and what they do is like these ML models are actually and trained to process and provide the right information, pick out the right information, and then provide it to the banking consumers. So like all the banking managers that are available or risk managers that are available, they directly utilizes these ML models, and they get the right set of data for that particular user, that whether this user is actually defaulting within the system or they are having a good credit score within the system.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when we talk about ML models, I wanted to give a much bigger look into what is basically ML models, how they are in what all ML models are actually being utilized within the fintech industry. Okay,
Sure.
so uh, so when we talk about ML, there are like three different kind of models that are majorly utilized within the fintech industry. They are called as supervised learning models, unsupervised learning models, and then we have like we have recursive learning models. Okay, so these are three kind of models that are being utilized. How they are being utilized is like, see, when we talk about supervised learning models, right? So supervised learning models are basically an input data is actually being processed with a labeled data. Okay, so like when we are putting a data within the system, like which is a complete raw data, with that data we are also putting up labeled data in the system, and once the system processes and creates a training set out of it, that training set is actually constitute of all these labels and unlabeled data, and the output that comes into picture is like the overall labeled data that we get from the system. uh, I think Pulkit got dropped. Okay, he's back.
Yeah, I'm here. Really sorry. I
Okay.
guess there was an issue with the internet. I guess
Not.
everything is fine now, right? You can.
Yeah, I can hear you, Pulkit.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, go on. You can go on.
Okay. So, so like, yeah. I was talking about supervised learning models, and so with the supervised learning models, there are two kinds of outcomes that we come up with, which is called as regression models and then a classification model. So regression models are basically like, suppose if I say that I give you a subset of like vegetables, right? There is
Hmm.
like there is a bell pepper, there is a brinjal, and there is suppose there is potatoes over there, right? And I ask you that, Pulkit, just give me the right output that what is a bell pepper. Okay.
Hmm.
So the supervised model, what comes into picture is like supervised model will process all those inputs, and then it gives you a specific input that, yeah, this is the bell pepper that I have identified.
Okay.
When I talk about classification, I'll ask the supervised model that, see, this is the data that I'm processing, and I want the classification of what are like vegetables that are like grown uh, uh, under the land or above the land. So that kind of classification happens within the supervised model when we talk about classification model. Okay. Then the second picture comes in is the unsupervised models. Okay, how unsupervised model comes into picture. So unsupervised model is basically a complete raw data is given to the training model. It processes that data, and then it provides you a basic class categorization within that. So in unsupervised model, majorly clustering happens. So how clustering? If I talk about clustering, like if I wanted to have like I wanted to have a categorization that how much people are actually lying within an industry where like how much people have income set of 10,000 to 20,000. Then how much people have income within 20 to 30,000. How much people have income within 30 to 40,000. So if I wanted to see from a raw data set that what are these people, a model can do the clustering that these are all the 15-20 people that are actually that lies within the 10-20,000 of thousand of income. Then these people are 20-30,000. Then these are 30-40,000. Okay, so that's how
So that
unsupervised
that
model
means
comes
it
into
is going
picture.
to give, yeah,
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
means it is going to give me the result in between the range, not a specific thing, but in between a range.
Exactly. Because see, there is no
Okay.
labeling that you are already inputting in it, right?
Okay.
So this is like complete raw data. You don't have a specific understanding that you are giving to the machine. That's why machine cannot give you a right understanding. It can only give you clusters around it. Okay, and then
Okay.
last is a reinforced model. Then what reinforced model does is like there is a rewarding system within that. So like if I give data, so there is some reward that is coming back to me. And majorly reinforcing models is like, suppose if I have to train a cat, right? So what I do is like I I ask that cat uh that go and fetch, or a dog that go and fetch this thing, and in place of that fetching, I give them a reward system. Like I give you like a bone or something. So that is how reinforced model comes into picture. That there is a back reward that comes out of it. And majorly reinforced model comes into picture for stock pricing or price planning, these kind of things. Okay. If I talk
Okay.
about supervising models are majorly required into risk assessments or financial predictions or analysis over there. Then similarly, unsupervised model comes into picture for generating synthetic data or image processing, these kind of things where like unsupervised model comes into work. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So we went too deep into that, right? We went too deep
Mhm.
into that what are the kind of models we have and where exactly these things are utilizing. But if I have to see on a broader standpoint view, right, on a broader view, how exactly the fintech world currently is utilizing the AI power, right? So let's say I don't know anything about fintech and I don't know anything about AI, for example, right? I'm completely new to that. How can I understand that AI is being used into the system and AI is basically helping me to get good rewards or let's say get good kind of APY or something like that?
Yeah. So see, the basic idea is that once you get into a front end system, right? So
Hmm.
one of the basic thing that I think all of us look at, and this is heavily used in not only into the fintech industry but every other industry, is like chatbots. Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as we interact to a particular website or a mobile application, it gives us a chatbot which can say that, yeah, just give me an intent and I can process and provide you some of the ideations that I have already, right? So that's a like NLP and LLM model that has already been processed within that particular AI bot. And once that AI bot processes it, it provides you the right set of informations that are already embedded in it.
Hmm.
I think there is a hand raised, Pulkit.
No worries. Jones will take Q&A at the end. Don't worry about that. Question after that, we'll take that. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, going forth, like next point, like from a not from a user standpoint, but majorly heavily on the backend side, from the managers and their aspects. Uh, the data heavy aspect is like risk assessment models are there in place. So like whenever a user like do a KYC of their, or whenever a user provides their informations on a particular platform, that yeah, this is what this is what my bank account number. Okay. As soon as that information goes into picture, there is a processing already being done at the backside to understand that what all risks are associated with you, what kind of defaults you have done in the past, what all are the loans that are already recurring on your name. So AI basically does is that as soon as you provide your information, like my name is Jayesh,
Hmm.
so AI processes all those informations from the backend data that is already available within the banking system, or from the banking system to within the ML models, and then it automatically provides a information to the risk manager that, see, these are the risks that is associated with this person, and these are like kind of loans that we can process to him. And that's where I think as soon as you interact with a fintech startup or an application, you start
Hmm.
getting those emails or
Correct.
those
Correct.
messages that, see, 5 lakh loans, one click approved, 1 minute you will get it. So this is how ML models are trained. That as soon as they know that what kind of risk are associated with you, what kind of analysis they have for you, they start giving you all those emails.
Okay.
And on a heavy side, like on a stock market side, right? Stock market side, the major purpose and use case of a AI is that on the quant models, that how So these guys have already trained some quant models based on the stock analysis that they have done from the past, like for the 10, 15, 20 years. They have all the data for the stock, how the stock has performed within all these years. So accordingly, there are models that are created, and there are bots that are created that are already there in the market. These bot basically predicts that how this stock is going to be performed in the next few months or in the next few days, and accordingly they put the money within the market, stating that, see, this is how the stock is going to grow. And once the stock grows, that bot automatically sell all those assets that are already available and then put out all the money that is there. This is how the fintech is actually utilizing it. Now coming back to like how DeFi is going to utilize it, like from the DeFi standpoint, DeFi tech is since the fintech tech is more heavily on the Java and the JavaScript, Node.js, these kind of things are utilized for the front end and back end side.
Right.
For the DeFi, the major aspect is like for the front end, again, JavaScript is being utilized, but on the back end side, there is a language called Solidity that is
Okay.
being utilized. So all contracts that are being created, they are created on Solidity.
Okay.
These contracts basically interact with the inputs that are provided by the user, and then they basically interact with the blockchain,
Mm.
take user assets, and then they mint or burn the user assets within the blockchain ecosystem. Okay, so now AI is very new to blockchain also, on the DeFi tech also,
Mm.
because right now AI is not being introduced because obviously there is a central aspect which comes into picture when we talk about AI. There is a
Mm.
lot of data that is being utilized, and since majorly on the DeFi side, everything is decentralized. We don't have user information on all those things. So AI aspect didn't come into picture, but now, like for the past 6 months, there are a lot of companies that are heavily investing on AI, heavily creating the right ecosystem for AI to come into picture and then create something within the DeFi ecosystem as well. So, I mean, just now, I think in the past 2 months, we have seen a lot of computing companies that are coming into picture, which can
Mm.
actually sustain the amount of TPS that is required for a decentralized AI model to run. And similarly, there are data layers that are coming in, which are actually providing the right set of data for these ML models to learn and then provide the right outputs to the users. Okay, so that is how AI is doing. What and majorly for the from the fintech DeFi tech side, uh, AI can do similar things which is already happening on the fintech side, like on the quant system, on the investment side, providing users the right guidances, providing users the right information that how basically a token can perform in the next few months.
Mm.
Looking at the aspect that how it has performed in the last 6 months, and similar to that, the chatbots that are being utilized, those can be incorporated. Then additionally, the risk assessments basis on contracts, that how the contract, how vulnerable a contract is, how much phishing happens from a contract. Those kind of things can be analyzed, and then a right set of information can be provided to the users using the AI.
Okay, got it. Great. Thank you very much, Jayesh. So, Jayesh, I just wanted to take few minutes, 2, 3 minutes max. There are a lot of questions around one particular thing, which is Devin. People are actually scared of that, I know. So I will answer your question as well, people. But before that, let me just summarize and make things simpler for you, right? There might be a possibility some of the things you must be thinking that we are not able to understand. So I'll just make things simpler for you, right? So, guys, I hope you are from MERN Stack, right? You are learning MERN Stack development here. Yes or no? Yes or no, everyone? Okay, perfect. So let's say if I have to build a full stack application, If I have to build a full stack application, let's say if I have to build a full stack application which is around the finance sector, like we have Grow app, right? Like we have Zerodha and all these kind of things, right? So if I have to build something like that, what will you choose to build the front end? It can be Angular, it can be Vue, it can be React, correct? What will you choose to build the back end side of the things? Right? There might be a possibility you will choose MongoDB as the database because it is very flexible. Right? You can choose Node or Express for building the backend architecture. Right? And how this thing is going to work? From the front end, you are going to make a request to the centralized server, right? And that centralized server is going to process the request. Based on that request, whatever data is required, it is going to fetch that data from the database and provide you the response. Yes or no? How many of you agree with me on this point? That this is how basic architecture works in a MERN stack application? Okay, perfect. Now, when I talk about a decentralized application, right? What is the meaning of decentralization? Your entire logic is not present at a centralized place. Like in MERN stack applications or Web2 applications, entire logic is present in the server, right? Entire code base is present in the server and it is going to process and provide you the response. This never happens in case of a decentralized application. In case of a decentralized application, what you do, you basically create the backend by the help of a programming language called Solidity. And we don't call it backend over here, we call it smart contracts, right? You develop smart contracts by Solidity and you deploy them on blockchain. Now, blockchain is decentralized. What is the meaning of decentralized? There are a lot of computers connected together. It is a network of computers, right? That is basically blockchain. You can understand in a simpler way, although blockchain is much more than that. But on a simpler level, you can understand that multiple computers are connected together and they are working together. So they are called blockchain, for example. Now, when you develop a smart contract using Solidity and deploy on a blockchain, what happens? The entire logic of your application becomes decentralized. It is not present at a centralized server anymore. So if a user or if a hacker, let's say if an attacker wants to attack, it is not possible because there is no centralized location, right? It is basically deployed on a decentralized network now. There is no centralized location where a attacker can attack and retrieve the information, right? So in this way, decentralization is basically providing you a very safe and secure, what you can say, ecosystem, right? And the financial applications that are built on top of this decentralized architecture, those are called decentralized finance applications, that is DeFi applications, or you can say DeFi tech. Is it clear now, guys? The difference between fintech and DeFi tech and how exactly these things are different. Okay. Now let me answer your question around Devin as well. You guys are scared about that. Even I was scared when I first look at Devin. So basically, guys, see, Devin is just a AI software engineer, right? And it is just the beginning, right? It is there is a lot to come right now because see, when I talk about Chat GPT, when I talk about Bard, or when I talk about any other generative AI tool, right? What we judge them on the basis of the accuracy that they are working in, right? The accuracy that they are working in. So for example, if I talk about Chat GPT is able to solve all the issues that you can get on the GitHub with an accuracy of 4.2%, which is, you can understand, very low. Still you need a developer over there, right? You cannot provide everything to Chat GPT, and Chat GPT will not be able to develop everything. Although Devin is basically at an accuracy level of 13.2%, which is way more than ChatGPT, but still 13.2 is very less. Why I am saying that? Devin will be able to do all the repetitive tasks, right? For example, there is a task which is going to happen today as well, tomorrow as well, the next day as well. So these kind of repetitive softwares, these kind of repetitive applications can be built very easily using Devin, right? But when it comes to something which is, you have to basically incept from scratch, something where you have to start from zero level, right? At that point as well, you need a developer. You cannot basically just rely on Devin, right?
Yeah.
That is
And
the main.
addition to that point, I would say, see, there are two things in the software industry. There are software developers and there are software engineers.
Correct.
So Devin in the market has actually came up to like I mean, I could say if there is an impact, there is an impact on the software engineers who are actually doing the maintenance work, or the support engineers that are actually supporting the ecosystem, or just reviewing the task. So that is where Devin can impact. But for a for a product to be built up, a developer is always required. Devin cannot develop a new product from scratch. Devin cannot build a AI applications by itself. So if it for a maintenance work, I can use Devin. But if I have to build a product from the overall scratch, I would require people. And there is always a market for developers to be in picture.
Right. So see, Devin will eventually solve that problem as well. That is what their creators basically suggested us. But it is at a very early stage. Fearing from Devin right now itself will not be good for you, right? See, uh, I would suggest you one thing. If AI is solving this level problem, right, build your competency in such a way that you are able to solve this problem, right? So what will happen? You'll be always ahead of the AI, right? So build your competency levels in such a way that if AI is able to solve the maintenance work, or if AI is able to solve the repetitive tasks, you can solve something new, right? So people who are not basically coping up with AI, they will be replaced. The people who are stagnated at their jobs, right? But if you take AI, you are taking help from the AI to build greater things. Those people will not be replaced. Don't worry about that. Even I was also scared. Then I talked one of my mentor, talked to one of my mentor, and basically he suggested me all these things. And I'm saying the same things to you as well. So don't worry about that. Okay. Now we digressed from the topic a little bit, but let's come back. Let's come back to the topic itself. Now that you have a clear-cut understanding of fintech and DeFi tech. So, Jayesh, what are the current challenges in the world of fintech and in the world of DeFi tech as well? What are the current challenges that you can think of?
See, I would say, I think one of the major challenge when we talk about AI in fintech or AI in DeFi tech is like, see, both the industries are like very data heavy,
Hmm.
and there is a lot of data that is like sensitive data of the users. Like somebody would be having my bank account, somebody would be having my credit cards, somebody would be having my CVV numbers and all those stuff. So, like, it's a very sensitive data. And the thing we have to understand is like, if that data goes, or if that data gets fished to the wrong hands, there is a lot of information that goes out for a user. I mean, somebody can actually take out the data and like drain my bank account within a second, right? So, I mean, like, all amount or money that I have, like all the assets that I have, somebody can take it over and within a seconds of time. So like the major challenge is like how you can ensure that the data is being protected in the right level. And I mean all, and that is like something which like fintech industry have to understand, or any new product that is coming into picture have to understand that, see, people, you are working with a person's data, and you have to do the utmost due diligence, utmost audits to ensure that this data cannot be fished to the wrong hands or to the wrong people. Okay,
Right.
and the second thing which comes into picture is like adoption rate from the user's perspective. Like today also there are a lot of people that still wants to go through the journal or the traditional method of finance, right? I mean, I can say that all our mothers would have like something called as traditional, called as committee.
Hmm.
I mean, basically from our space, it's called as committee. That is like all people that are like on within a community or within a confined space, or probably all the people that are living nearby my house, they will be putting their money within my system where like loans can be processed on a very low like interest rates to people. So
Right.
that is that those traditional methods are still into picture. So, and that is something which like and which does not because of which the adoption rate is low for the users. Then second thing comes into picture is like knowledge gap. Like I think this is one of the questions for each one of us that, like, by the end of the month, is there money like left in your bank account?
No,
So
I don't have
that
anything
is
by the end of the month.
yeah. So that's the major thing. That if you don't have money left in your bank account, how would you ensure that you are actually utilizing these applications? Because these applications are built so that people can actually invest their money, or they can build a corpus that can sustain for longer period of time for them. Like, a basic understanding is like, suppose if I like save 500 rupees for every month, with the right set of compounding, that money can grow up to like a crore or 5 crore by the time I get retired. Like, or if I increase that amount, probably that could happen by 35 or 40 years of age.
Hmm.
So that is the financial understanding that people should have, and that knowledge gap is still here. We are more aligned to have parties or utilize our assets to like have fun, but like a basic understanding has to happen from a very young age that we should be like putting some money on the investment side for us to build a corpus, and that's where the fintech adoption that come into picture,
Right.
right? And then uh, like uh, like one of few of the things could be product issues as well.
Okay.
Like, although fintech startup come up with very good backend, very good models, but like there are still products which do not have a good front end, and that is one of the major reasons that people like refuse to utilize these kind of products.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I think few a week back I was utilizing one of the applications, and there were some bugs in that application that it is not having the right set of buttons, or the buttons are not clicking correctly. So for me, an application, if they cannot solve their front end, I mean, the trust automatically gets out of the picture.
Right.
Now,
Right.
because if somebody cannot create a good front end for them, then it's a question that how their backend system is actually, and how my data is protected with this particular team.
Correct.
So yeah, these are few of the major challenges, and like from for a DeFi tech, I think majorly the use cases like for people to adopt to it, because like the major challenge is like how people can utilize, like, transfer their money from fiat to a decentralized token. That is one of the major challenges. I think that acceptance is still pending from the like government regulations, and that is one of the reason that why we are not having that kind of ecosystem that people can easily invest within the DeFi space.
Right.
But obviously, these things are building with time. There are government also accepting these things.
Hmm.
There is ETF that has came into picture for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So obviously, we can see that future that people will going to adopt to that. But right now, it is a challenge for us.
Okay. Got it. Since there are a lot of challenges in the fintech front as well and the DeFi tech front as well. So, where does your what you can say product comes into the picture, right? Your product is Folio X, which is basically, as per my understanding, is a DeFi tech product, right? It is not into the fintech market. It is
Hmm.
in the DeFi
DeFi tech
ecosystem,
market.
right? So, how exactly Folio X is solving these kind of problems right now?
So yeah, so FolioX is like it's a AI based tool, which gives a unified platform to users to invest and then maintain the overall assets that they have invested in. So
Hmm.
like, suppose if I am a user and I have a Bitcoin, right? So with FolioX, or if I have 10 different kind of tokens within the DeFi space, right? So with
Hmm.
FolioX, what I have is like I have a single layer platform where I can actually uh, first of all maintain all my assets. Those assets are available within the dashboard and the portfolios that are there available in the FolioX website. And then the second thing is that they can also invest those assets within different protocols that are available, and with those protocols they can get a good gains out of it. And the good thing about it is that we gives risk based assessments to the user, so that if they wanted to have a high risk or they wanted a high yield kind of system, they can actually put their assets over there and get a very high yield out of it. And if there are users that are actually like, no, I just wanted a sustainable yield, and I don't want an aggressive yield out of it within the next few months, I can put it in a low risk kind of strategy and get my sustainable yield within the like a year long of time. So that's how FolioX gives, like, the major thing is that the transparency that we provide to the users, and then the right set of strategies which they can invest in and they can get some yield out of it. And the AI aspect that come into picture on the FolioX is like our dashboard gives a lot of suggestions to the users that how they can invest and optimize their yields. Our platform is basically an intent-based platform where like intents are being processed. Like suppose if a user comes in and they say that I have $100 and I wanted to invest in a high yield strategy. So rather than going through like hundreds of strategies that are already available within the platform, the user can just give those intents, and automatically our AI model will process those intents and then provide the right strategies to the users. And then we have like the chatbot mechanism is already there, which is adopted from the fintech, and that is helpful for people to get a guided understanding that how the platform works, what all other strategies available, what all other informations that they can grasp from the AI chatbot. And so these are all the things that FolioX is providing to the users.
Okay, perfect. So guys, I would like to share one more information around that part where I was discussing it with Jayesh earlier as well. So what FolioX have done is they have basically developed their own AI as well, right? They have developed like there is Chat GPT, like there is Devin and everything. What they have done, they have developed Scarlet AI, right? And basically Scarlet AI is completely what you can say dedicated towards financial goals, right? If you want to understand anything about DeFi tech, if you want to understand anything about blockchain, if you want to understand anything about tokens, how these things are working, right? And if you want to understand how I can put my money into the system and get the maximum amount of returns or maximum amount of profit on a what you can say 3 months period, 6 months period, or yearly basis, how can I do that? Scarlet AI can basically help you suggest all these things. So FolioX is also working on that part as well, which I was also really interested in, because everyone is basically what they are doing. They are basically taking help from some already present generative AI tool and integrating it with their platform. Instead of that, what they have done, they have created their own AI model over there, right? So that was pretty much interesting, right? Okay, perfect. So guys, I hope this gives you a basic understanding around the fintech and around the DeFi tech system, how they exactly work. So the major goal of this conversation was not to go into the deeper side of the things. Instead of that, we just wanted to cover what exactly is happening on a broader level, right? On the surface level, so that you can understand few of the terms, right? Go back and research about them a little bit, right? So that is very, very important from your point of view. Now, what I would like you guys to do is, if you have any question, you can basically put up in the chat box. Yeah, Jones has a question. Yeah, Jones, you can go ahead.
Hey, hi, Jayesh. Nice to meet you. I just
Hey,
want
hi,
to know
John.
this Folio X a bit. So does it like aggregate like all the liquidity like InstaDApp, Uniswap, Curve or Compound pools and put in there? Is it like Pendle? Like Pendle is the like I feel the most optimized and good yield structure anyone in the market has done in last 7 years is Pendle in terms of their STETH. So what does you guys do like in a larger sense?
See, on the investment side, yeah, obviously it's something a unified platform which can provide all these kind of strategies that are already available on Pendle, that is available on Uniswap, that is available on Compound, Aave. All these investment strategies are already available with us. The additive thing that we have done is see, from a user standpoint, you can only invest on one of these strategies if you go through a platform, right? From our platform, what we are building is within a single click, how you can invest in 5 different protocols at a one go. So, if you have 100 USDT, you can just do one click and invest in one of the liquidity pool in Uniswap. One of put some money on the lending side on Compound or Aave, and then put some money on on the Pendle, ST, and all those stuff. And then similarly, like one of the money can go into the liquid staking or restaking protocols. So we are building all those kind of strategies that how user can diversify their assets, but within a unified platform rather than going into 5 different platforms and putting their money over there.
So it takes also the OG protocols like InstaDapp. They also give this one-click deployment on a lot of this and Stader, Lido. So you guys also take Lido, Stader, and all the new upcoming, like not Lido is not,
Etherify,
Etherfy and all, Eigenlayer and
EigenPy.
all. Are you
Yeah.
guys taking that as well in consideration?
Yeah, we are taking everything in consideration. We are working on partnership with all these protocols and slowly trying to integrate all of them.
Okay.
Obviously, there will be few which won't be liking to do partnerships, but obviously we wanted to integrate each one of protocols and provide users the right amount of diversification that they can have. So yeah, that's like the idea behind it.
Okay. Yeah, my just last question is like the intent part. So I was using IntentX and or like I was reading about Aura like a year or back. So I feel that the things that they are telling is quite bullish, but the considering the part that if I want to buy an ETH at this price at any moment, and they scan all the liquidity pools and all the protocols, but don't you feel the off-chain load that any other intent need to drop into their off-chain database to get the best price? Is it possible in that sense to make it decentralized in such a sense that it gives you the maximum, the best price available around the market, being it sex or dex, anything?
Yeah, so see, see the ideology that majorly people were thinking about is that like most of the intent kind of processing happens on the off-chain side, but yeah, there are computing technologies that have already come into picture, and we are looking on the on-chain aspects that how we can produce build those ML models, but then how we can host them within the on-chain ecosystem and then provide the right amount of yields to the users. So even though all these the processing will happen, that will go to the smart contract. Smart contract will ensure that the right ETH is being provided to the users. And I think with the gas cost being reduced post EIP 48544, yeah, I mean that I mean these things are being possible. And I think if you wanted to go through like one of the protocol has already launched some intent kind of strategies. I think there are 2 3, but one of the
IntentX is there, Aura is there, yeah.
yeah, there is one good that is still just came into picture, and they are working on chain data set is Brian knows AI, so you can look into that as well.
Understood. Yeah, thanks. And the last one is what are thoughts on BitTensor like Tau? I see a lot of talks around that, but I don't feel a very heavy use case in any sense a lot.
I think as of now, I have also not looked into that aspect because a lot of work is actually going into what
Cool.
we are
Thanks,
building
man.
on the Folio side. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to ask any other question? I guess Jones has covered a lot of the questions that you guys might be having if you have understanding around DeFi tech, or if you have any understanding around decentralized finance. But yeah, if you have any other question, you guys can basically shoot it in the chat box and I would pick it
I
up from.
think Avinash has a question. Avinash, it's okay. You can go on Hindi as well. That's not a problem. I think language shouldn't be a barrier to ask questions.
Yeah, sure.
हेलो सर.
Hello.
हेलो. सर, जैसा कि आपने कहा कि एआई जब आया था तब वो चीजें कुछ करेक्टली बता नहीं पा रहा था.
Mhm.
ठीक है. सो अब आप एग्री करते हो कि एआई रिप्लेस कर रहा है डेवलपर्स को.
Mhm.
इस टाइम पर जब वो आया था 2022 में, तब वो रिप्लेस नहीं कर पा रहा था, मतलब कुछ चीजें भी करेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा था.
Mhm.
सो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आप मतलब डेविन अभी तो नया आया है ना,
हाँ.
तो वो भी रिप्लेस कर पाएगा आगे कोडर्स को.
Okay.
तो
देखो
उससे मतलब
अविनाश,
हमें. हाँ.
I can give you a one word response to it. See, I see ChatGPT has come into picture and approximately a year has already gone through. But I frankly tell you, I still write like handwritten notes when I want a post to be created for my own product. Matlab, I know ChatGPT is very good, and there are a lot of things that I mean, the way it structures the sentences and all those stuff. But see, whatever thinking that a human can have, whatever sentimental analysis that we can do, AI cannot do all those stuff. Matlab, everything cannot come from AI. There are still humans that are required, and even though AI can capture a lot of things, there will be prompt engineers, there will be engineers that build that AI, or there will be engineers that will maintain the kind of test data that comes into picture for that AI. So every now and then, even though AI will come into picture, probably post 100 years AI can take over everything and our human effort can be reduced. But as of now, it cannot. For the next 10-15 years, I cannot say that AI can replace any person within the industry. Yes, it can reduce the workforce, but people who are doing well in the industry, they will still sustain. अगर आप अपने काम में अच्छे हो ना, then obviously nobody can replace you. If you have incompetencies in your work, then obviously there could be some mechanisms or some uh, AI that can replace you. But that happens in the industry right now also. There will be people who, like right now, people can replace you, but then in future the AI can replace you. So that is the overall thing. But there will be always people that are going to work alongside AI or uh, just or post like apart from AI, but there will be people in the industry that will always be working. मतलब डेविन चाहे कितना ही अच्छा ऑर्डर, डेविल will have 50% 60% of that efficacy also, but still there will be developers that are going to develop. So your prime focus has to be कि how you can be that developer who is better than these AI products or who is far ahead from these AI products. ठीक है, अगर इनसे सस्टेन होके काम करोगे ना, तो then you cannot achieve that kind of accuracy or efficiency.
Right. Also, one more thing, Avinash, since you said that in the initial days, these things were not, what you can say, accurate enough, but now they are. So let me tell you about something around accuracy as well. So when we judge these AI products, we judge them on the basis of what exactly the existing problem statements they are able to solve, right? And what exactly the problem statement that we can feed them and they will be able to solve, right? So if I talk about the accuracy level of these things, Devon is around 13.2%, but most of them are around 5 or below 5%, right? Which is way less than the accuracy of a human, right? Which is very, very less. So for example, if I have to develop any AI, I have to train it around that particular, what you can say, use case, and I have to feed a lot of data to that particular model. And after that, that model is going to train itself, or we are going to train the model. And at the end of that training as well, the accuracy level can maximum go up to 80 to 85%. Still, it is not 100%, right? So the thing is, see, again, I'll say the same thing. Few of the people are going to be replaced. I'm not going to sugarcoat this thing that nothing will happen. Few of the people are going to be replaced. Those people are the basically those people which are standing at a position where they are doing the repetitive jobs, right? So to do that repetitive job, AI is going to replace you. That is why I told you that if AI is able to solve this level of problem, build your competency in such a way that you are able to solve this problem, which is far ahead than what AI is doing right now. So if you are on this track, and if you are on this particular track of gaining a skill set and basically upskilling yourself in these terms, AI will never replace you. AI will replace that person who is not doing anything and who is saying that I am doing the best where I am right now. There might be a possibility that person will get replaced. So you have to be on a constant journey of upskilling. If you are on that path, AI will not replace you. I can assure that. Okay. Cool. Any other question, guys?
Sorry.
Okay, Vikash has said, is it necessary to be a developer to begin a startup in fintech? Please, if you could provide some insight on this. So, guys, see, Jayesh is not a developer, right? Still, Jayesh started what you can say, a company in Defitech. So that is not at all necessary, right? You should have a vision, you should have a understanding of the things, and you should have a bigger picture that what problem you are going to solve, right? Then obviously you can hire developers, you can basically interact with the people who can help you in developing that product, right? But the main problem is, or the main thing that you have to focus on is how to solve a problem. Problem solving is very important, right? That is the
Yeah.
main gist.
So guys, see, there are 2, 3 things that needs to be there to start a startup. Is like, first you have to understand that what problem you are trying to identify. Second is that the vision to build a product, and then understand that what whether your product is market fit or not. Because see, sometimes on a delusional side, we love our product because obviously we are founders. We will always be loving our product that we are building. But we do not understand that whether the user is going to utilize that product or not. So that understanding has to be very much that whether this product will be accepted by the users, or is it solving a problem for the user, or is it just solving a problem for you. Okay, so whenever you start building a company, first go to the market, ask from the users what are their problems, whether what solution you're coming up with, whether the solution is actually solving a problem for you, or otherwise you have to create a complete new category out of it. And that will take a lot of money, time, effort, and probably, I mean, and there is a lot of like perseverance that you have to go through. Some people won't be able to go through that perseverance. So, yeah, understand that the product has to be fit to the market.
Great. So guys, I have given you a link in the chat box, which is basically you can just go through this blog to basically understand what exactly DeFi is and how you can start within it. And other than that, I'm going to also share with you the FolioX website as well, right? So if you
I
want, you
think
can go through that thing as well, right?
I think one last question is Hardik, I have a question. How much time will it take to train an AI? See, Hardik, uh, see, training an ML model, if you already have the data set, right? And it depends on how much you can code. So, see, it's a basic process. First, you identify the data set, you get that data set like corrected, you remove all the anomalies that are already there, like cleaning up of all the data set, and then you go to the processing stage where you actually like identify that in what all matrix you actually have to create a ML model or a AI model, and then you start training that. So see, ideal way of coding, see, when I build a AI model or a ML model, it took me only like 6 or 7 hours to do that because I have the right amount of data. The major part is on the cleaning side. The major time that goes, like all approximately a 60% of the time that goes within the data set is like on the cleaning part. That you have to remove all the anomalies. And then for that anomalies, you have to first understand that what all things or what all metrics are there in the data set, what all things you would require at a later stage, or what all things you don't require. So that is like the time impact. I mean, and then the time also goes is like how much large is the data set. So that's why I mean, training it's not that much amount of time. Like, or even the coding is not that much amount of time. The major time will go on the cleaning part. If you can clean efficiently at a very a lesser time, then probably you can train a dataset within 2-3 hours also.
Okay, perfect. So, thank you very much, Jayesh, for joining in and having a wonderful conversation around very hot topic right now. Right, and thank you guys for joining in and having the patience to listen to us. Right, thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.